Olympus Mons, a massive volcano on Mars compared to the state of Arizona. Now, I know how huge this volcano is, at least vertically, but to see that it's not like that wide, I mean, just Arizona? For some reason, I thought it'd be like a lot more circular than that. And here's actually the same thing, except this time it's compared to France. I'm actually just more amazed that Arizona is as big as France, almost. I mean, it fits pretty good in Olympus Mons. But like I said in the very beginning, the thing that makes this volcano so incredible is how high up it is. This is Mount Everest, the tallest point on Earth. Was at 8,000 meters? This thing is 21,000 meters. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that if you were to shrink down Earth into the size of a basketball, there'd be no physical feature that would actually be like large enough for you to feel, like touch-wise. Like you wouldn't be able to feel the mountains or anything like that. I wonder if you'd be able to feel this with Mars. Does that sound creepy? I don't know. Most consumed no-no drinks, beers, spirits, or wine in Europe at least, and it looks like the Wine Alliance is gonna have their hands full against the Beer Coalition. Not surprised to see Germany on the yellow side. I mean, the whole Oktoberfest, I mean, I was gonna say. And equally not surprised to see France on the wines, as well as Italy. And Switzerland is just basically a big mix between these three major countries that surround them, so the Germans are outnumbered 2-1 in this small country. There's even a split in Iberia. I wonder if this has anything to do with like Portugal's friendship with the UK, that long alliance, maybe they like, I don't know, influence them there a bit. So many different rivalries. Even Greece and Turkey can agree, but Denmark and Sweden can. They can agree at least on one thing. Let's also not forget about the spirits, but Russia is not a part. You would think like the entire Eastern Bloc would be unanimous about this. This was in actuality what caused the USSR to collapse in 1991. You just can't be a country if you can't agree on this. Surprised like Ireland doesn't have more whiskey. Their beer? Someone posted this in honor of Pride Month. Countries in Asia that recognize same-sex marriage on a national level. It is literally only Taiwan. I would not have expected just Taiwan. And it was effective only in 2019, so they just recently made that happen. I'm really surprised to see the results out of South Korea and Japan. Maybe they'll be next. I mean, that's the only one I can really think of that would be next. Some of these other countries just kind of have a long way to go before that. The infrastructure of Canada, I know that half of all of Canadian population lives in like this point right here, but they do have a lot of roads leading to other parts of Canada, so that's nice. I'm actually really surprised to see how much roads are here. I know that there's like a lot of population in Vancouver, all the way this little dot, but I thought there wasn't a whole lot of people that live here. I wonder why there's the need for all these roads. I mean, some of it has to do with just the physical geography of Canada. I mean, this is like Cascadia, a lot of trees, forests, maybe some hills. Maybe this is like more of a flat part of Canada. Is that why like just the roads are going everywhere? Kind of hard to send roads much further north than that though. It's just all tundra. Really don't want to be up there. What do Europeans feel the most attached to? This question was asked to citizens in every county or province or whatever they call it, state in the European Union. And it's actually interesting to see where the nations divide on. So the red represents Europe. There is no red. There's like one place that's red. Blue is the country, and the orange is actually the region in the country. So maybe we can expect some separatists or something out of some of these areas. Prepare to stomp out the revolt. Budapest Hungary is the only region with Europe as primary attachment. I wonder why Budapest, of all places. Whereas this southern part of Bulgaria has the lowest attachment to Europe. The least amount of people probably picked attached to Europe here. So France doesn't have to worry too much about places like revolting. And that's probably just because France has been around for a really long time. They have the historical stuff here. I mean, Brittany, you know, did their own thing for a little bit, Aquitaine, but that's about it. But they do have to worry about Corsica though. That's the largest difference in attachment to region than country. Maybe they want to do their own thing. They want to be an independent island. Who knows? Obviously, Spain has a lot to worry about. I mean, we already saw what was going on in Catalonia not too long ago. I wonder why Spain has all this. Like, France and Spain, both pretty old countries. You think you wouldn't see this, but I don't know. Really surprised by Germany, though. Look at all these people that probably feel attached to Bavaria. A lot of these Bavarian counties really want to do their thing. And just the fact that Belgium is even still around, I know they've been, like, on the chopping block for a long time. Isn't that, like, the most predicted country to not be here in 100 years? Look at that Polish pride, though. The entire country, all is attached to their country. You know they must love that place with all the things they've been through. I would have loved to have seen this map of the UK, but we do not have that data. Thanks for that, UK. I think there'd be a pretty sharp difference between England, Wales, and Scotland, that's for sure, even Northern Ireland. The United States versus countries with a higher life expectancy than the United States. I've seen something like this before. I know we ain't doing that good in this category. Pretty much all of Europe, besides some of these eastern places, all of Northern Europe, Greece, Turkey, Iberia. There's even places in South America that's beating us out. That's just kind of surprising because, you know, we be coming down there and like, you know, kicking out their democratically elected leaders. We even got Singapore, South Korea, Japan. This ain't a good look. Probably a lot of factors behind this, but, you know, I'm thinking McDonald's. McDonald's has got to be the reason. Just McDonald's, only McDonald's. So this is every town in Italy who has a Wikipedia page with a BC mention in it. Like, meaning that these towns are older than the year 0, basically is what they're trying to get at. Now, at first I was like, wow, this seems insane. Like, there are so many old places in Italy. However, there's just a lot of old places in the Eastern Hemisphere in general. Italy was just lucky enough to document it all because, you know, the whole Rome thing. It was able to keep up with their history and we were able to, you know, figure it out today. I'm pretty sure the darker blue means that there's even more mentions of times before the year 0. Surprised to see the island of Sardinia have so much even too. Now I'm just starting to get sad about how much information we've lost throughout like time. Don't they say we've only written down, if we're lucky, 1% of history? Worker honeybees have different jobs according to their age. Damn, the bees that are only 1 to 2 days old are also put to work? Now this is a society I can get behind. No child labor laws, that's how things should be. So their job is to clean the cells and they start with the one they were born in. They also keep the brood warm? What the hell's a brood? How do they know to instantly get to work? Imagine being born and just start working. Damn, I have so much money right now. I didn't do shit for like the first 20 years of my life. When they're 3 to 5 days old, their job is to feed older larvae. 6 to 11, they have the responsibility to feed the youngest larvae. Who's going around smacking them if they don't do this though? 12 to 17 days old, they are producing wax, carrying food, building combs, and have undertaken duties. Then we have the 18-year-olds, they can't drink, right? They are protecting the hive entrance and have guard duty. Nice, that'd be a fun job. From 22 days to the end of their life, usually about 40. Bees only live like 40 days? That's better than flies. Don't flies live like 7? They fly from the hive and collect pollen and nectar. Oh, so they lead, like that's like the ultimate warriors right there. They only let the oldest and wisest one go out. That's actually smart because they're very likely to get oofed anyways out there. So like they're at the end of their life, go ahead, die, we don't care. But you might as well get as much out of them as you can. Man, bees are smart, man. They got things down. Like our society sucks. I'm gonna become a bee supremacist. Only Poland would have the balls to collect data like this. The countries went around to married couples and compared the husband and wife's height, weight, age, and even income. Now, the biggest clusters seem to be all about the same in the age, weight, and height category. I mean, of course, there's a couple outliers. There's this 20-year-old husband married to a 50-year-old wife. Then there's this 50-year-old husband married to an 80-year-old wife. There's actually more men marrying older ladies than vice versa in Poland. Is that what I'm getting at here? Most of the time, the husband weighs more than the wife, and a lot of the time, the husband is taller than the wife. But this is the craziest part. The income, that just goes all over the place. And now, I mean, yeah, on average, there are more sugar daddies, but there's also a lot of sugar mamas out there. Okay, Poland. Damn. Look at this one. The wife is almost making 6 times more than the husband. I'm just glad Poland was brave enough to do this. I mean, I think they're brave enough to do anything at this point. The influence of the no-no virus on government debt. So we're starting off in the 90s, then the year 2000. So Japan started accumulating a lot of debt during this time. I didn't know they had a lot of debt. I know their economy slowed down. Then it's Italy and the US. Here comes 2020, and boom, it's gonna be I'm kind of scared. Oh, surprisingly, it wasn't as huge of a jump as I thought, but there is a significant jump in every single place here. It looks like the US, Italy, and Japan. So if you already had a lot of debt, you probably accumulated a lot of debt. Canada took a lot. That's a huge jump for them compared to everybody else. This is how the Ice Age ended.
We experienced the daily
multiple ice
and
ages.
yearly cycles in a dramatic way.
Wobble.
But some more subtle repetitions occur over tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years.
Hey, they didn't teach me about that in science class.
And the accumulated effects of these long-term cycles tracks with evidence of ice ages.
Oh.
Which you can see in some places, but in other places it doesn't line up that well. Well, that's because, scientists explain,
ice ages do we get?
The relationship is
kinda
complex. The orbital changes didn't directly cause the temperature to rise because they didn't cause more sunlight overall to hit the Earth. They did affect the angle of the sun in a way that allowed more of it to reach the poles, which caused the glaciers to retract, which meant the Earth was less reflective, so it absorbed more sun. And there were new sea currents. And carbon dioxide levels increased, though scientists aren't exactly sure why.
Volcanoes?
And all these
Can volcanoes do
secondary
that?
factors cause the average temperature to rise.
This just makes me think, like, when's the next ice age? What do we have to look forward to? Oh, hell yeah, it's coming way faster than I thought. 2022. I love those movies. Okay, just playing. For reals, though, I guess we have 1,500 years before the next ice age. That's what we're predicting. Doesn't it happen like every 10,000 years? Is that what the estimate is? Hopefully we'll be colonizing other galaxies by then. So crazy to think about, like, back in the day, like, not even that long ago, we had giant sloths in South America. Like, how are people just taking that for granted? It seems terrifying. I've never seen temperature portrayed like this. They're using, like, elevation to show the drastic difference between temperature in 1979 to 2000. The biggest differences in temperature are happening in Russia and obviously in the poles, at least the North Pole. Not much has changed in the US, but again, this is just from the year 2000. We need an updated version of this. This is cool. This pilot mapped all of the flights he made over the course of the last few years. I'm assuming he's got to be based somewhere out of the East Coast. That's where like most of his flights are. I wonder, do the flights you make change depending on like how long you've been around? Like I would assume if you're kind of a newer pilot, maybe they wouldn't send you that far, but then that doesn't make any sense. Why would they waste you like that? He has been out of the country too. He went to Mexico a couple times. I would love to learn how to be a pilot one day, but at the same time, I think I'd put all of humanity at risk. 2010 compared to 2019, change in population in US counties. Now we see it usually on a statewide level, but rarely a county level. Now we know that Texas is getting a whole lot of population, but it's really not all of Texas. It's just certain parts of Texas. Everyone's leaving near the Panhandle because no one knows what the is going on over there. Most people are moving to Austin or Houston, it looks like, even Dallas. They're moving to the big cities basically, but it looks like the more secluded areas they're leaving. Florida now, on the other hand, it's almost entirely blue. What other state is almost entirely blue? I mean, there's the crazy parts of Florida that I heard, the really crazy parts, like northern Florida. They're losing population, but everywhere else, it's a dark blue. New York is like the opposite, where most people are just leaving New York, except for a couple spots. And surprisingly, California had most population grow, even though it seems like now they're starting to leave. This is only to 2019. Arizona saw a big increase, only one county, maybe two lost. Yeah, these states in the middle of the country though, they're really losing a lot right here. A lot of red. The flow of rivers that end up in the Mississippi. So starting as high up as like Montana and Idaho, there are some water droplets that still find a way. I guess it's not crazy. I've seen that before, but to start the way they started, that transition is crazy. And then they all end up around the same area. Look, it kind of stops right here though. What's up with that? Has anyone ever tried to like row from Montana to out of the Gulf of Mexico? Like a small boat or something? I don't know. Maybe that sounds dumb, but that seems like a world record. Well, there is a world record about who can travel down the Mississippi in the fastest time. They paddled down the Mississippi and took 17 days. That doesn't sound long at all, actually. I don't know where they started though, so that's the problem. How to use a plastic bottle to make seawater drinkable. So we obviously have Tom Hanks here in Castaway on this deserted island. Step 1, cut off the bottom of a large plastic water bottle. 2, cut off the top of a standard soda cap. Roll the bottom of the plastic bottle up to make an inner gutter. How do you do that? That doesn't seem easy at all. I think it can be done. That doesn't look easy though. Fill the soda can with seawater and set the plastic water bottle. And then you put it in the sun. Yep. And it slowly starts to evaporate. Place the contraption in the sun to encourage evaporation. Let the gutter fill up water to the top. Damn, this would probably take a long time. You'd probably want to build a whole lot of these devices. But yeah, that seems like it worked, especially with all the plastics in the ocean. You'd probably be able to find this stuff. Oh, that's kind of sad. Now I'm sad. And thank you to the patrons of June. Drew's Argentinian Grandpa. I'm Bout a Nut. AryanAfterHours. Sussy Imposter does a little trolling. Zeffi. Poppy Drew Woo. Stormtrooper 501. Patrick C. Many 74. LuxembourgLover. Aaron F. Anthony G. Call of Tortoise. Dalton D. Elijah Senpai. EpiNick. Bullsen. Kaylee K. And M203 BrushEm. Thank you.